Hello everyone, and welcome to Corners of Speed Tier 3 and Tier 4 once again. My name is Thomas, next to me is Lewis, and we're here for the special event between the Tier 3 and the Tier 4 drivers. Hopefully everything is gonna go to plan now. Unfortunately, because Hamilton had to leave the lobby, Ricky is his replacement, so not really a step backwards for the EU3 guys. So yeah, hopefully we're all good. Hopefully everyone can load into the screen now. I can finally see all the names on the right hand side of my screen, so that should tell me that we're good to go and that we can finally go racing here around France. For the people who missed this format, we're gonna drive a one-shot quali and a 25% race here around Vietnam. The one who finishes in P20 will start on pole position for the second race around France, P19 on P2, etc, etc. So yeah, brilliant format, I really like it. Lewis, you're in the commentary box with me, mate, as we're gonna start this one-shot quali. Hopefully you're all doing well. Welcome.
Yes, welcome once again, good evening everyone, and here we are, right into the thick of it, this short format, never done before. It's the one-lap quali.
Everyone on the soft tire, which is understandable, and we're gonna see it at the moment. It's two EU4 drivers in P1 and P2. Oh, Ricky drops down to almost last place. Mazza is actually taking it as he now drops down to P3. Blaze has unfortunately left the session. That's not looking good for him, as it is Robert now leading the way in front of Reggae, Mazza, K-Mark, Joe, Jason, Prentice, Spot, Kelswag and Matty. Couple of tier 3 drivers at the back of the grid. It's not looking good for them. And EU4 is looking strong as he looks up, coming into the hairpin. Let's go on board with his teammate, as he is doing a really good job in P1 at this point. Sector 2 is finishing now with a 106.0, and now the tricky Sector 3 starts with all the twisty corners. We've had this race earlier on in the season, so if everything is good, then they all got at least a setup and some sort of rhythm around this track. Last two corners to negotiate for the Dutchman in P1 at the moment. Is it gonna stay P1 for Robert? It is gonna stay P1 with great dominance as well. 4 tenths in front of Joe, Reggae, Jacek, Matty, Mazza, Prentice, Clausen, K-Mark, Jay, Profoda, Spot, then Haley, Ricky, Lars, Thibaut, Blaze, Tigerroll and Gelswag, who unfortunately invalidated.
Wow. So, interesting lineup. Ricky really losing out. Must have had a massive error because he got 136. So, yeah, Ricky with all to do. It's, yeah, very interesting quali. And now going to what is going to be the 25% race distance. So, half of what we normally do, which is a quarter of a full Grand Prix.
Yeah.
So, but it'll still be one stop.
Yeah, people still have to make a pit stop. No, we're not gonna leave the session. Yeah, people still have to make their pit stop. The thing is, people outside of the 10 are still allowed to go into the medium tire, but people will have less time to sort of get into the rhythm, slowly starting to get into battles. You have to be on the pace straight away. You can't be lacking any pace, you can't make a mistake, because there's literally no time to make up for it. I think we will see everyone from outside of the 10 go on to the mediums, I would say. Because being on the softer tire at the end of the race is more beneficial, I would say, in the 25% race. I don't really know what the perfect strategy is, but that's definitely what I would do. But we're gonna wait and see, and in a couple of seconds we actually know what everyone opted to go for.
Yeah, a 25% race, like you say, the cars are obviously lighter, so they're not such a big contrast from 50% races. But yeah, you have to be on it. There is no time, so it's very much closer to the sprint race. Obviously not like a 5-lap race, but it's still very full on, and tyre wear isn't such an issue. At most tracks, the 25% means you can easily go from the softest compound to the medium normally. So I'm sure that this will be very much the same as the countdown begins for the start of the race 1 in Vietnam.
Welcome Gamba to the stream. I saw you in the other stream as well. Really appreciate it, all the way from Brazil. Really appreciate it, mate. 20 people watching right now as Robert is about to start the formation lap. Let's see, and I get the detail up on screen. Like I said, almost everyone outside of the 10 opted to go for the medium tires, apart from Ricky and Thibaut. So they are the ones on the softer tire.
Yeah, just go something different. That is one with 25% race. Go with something that's the alternative strategy. The only downside, obviously, is if there is a safety car early on, or I suppose really the other situation is if you get damage early on that medium tyre. If you get damage on this first lap or in your first stint, and it's too early, you've really set yourself up. Whilst at least with the soft tyre, if you have wing damage, yes, you lose the time in the pits, but you can change onto the harder compound and you won't have to be pitting again.
Yeah, those are the kind of risks you take. Of course, that's also the risk you take when you're driving a 50% race. Apart from the fact that, like we've mentioned before, there's less time to make up for your mistakes. So yeah, that's gonna be something different. There's a big pile up with Williams. I think that's Matty causing it. Hopefully no one gets disqualified because of it. It seems all good as Matty is doing it again. What is Matty doing? Weird tactic. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what the EU4 guys can do compared to the EU3 guys. Of course, we see some of these guys race in the actual tier 3 races as well, just as a replacement of the permanent drivers in tier 3. We've seen Jace come in actually from tier 4, who is now an EU3 driver. We've seen Reggae driving in it, Joe driving in it, Spot driving in it. So yeah, there are some usual names, but Blaze hasn't driven in here before, Tiger Roll, Haley, Kmar, Clausen. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see what those guys can do, and don't rule them out on those mediums because it could be a very effective strategy.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to this. And like you say, the tier 4 guys, they didn't get an opportunity, when they do their battles against tier 3. It's not something they do all the time, whilst with some of the tier 4 guys, they did actually experience some of the tier 3 races. So it's going to be a bit of unknowns. There might be a few incidents in the opening couple of corners, but fingers crossed it will go smoothly.
So here we go. You can see 5 red lights. No one is reading up. So it's the case as always. Now Robert is revving up, 5 red lights. And away we go for the Vietnam Grand Prix in a special event. As Tiger already has a drive-through penalty for a jump start. That's definitely not the start you want. And there's a racing point off. That's Thibaut off into the wall. Wing damage already for the Frenchman. But it's a good start for Robert. It's a good start for Joe as well. Matty is battling with Reggae down the inside. He goes. Can he make the move stick? No, he can't. He has to let the racing point go through as well. So that's Mazza up into P4. Matty drops down to P5 again. And Shea Prentice at the back is looking very dangerous as well.
Yeah, there's a few people that spun off in the end. Tiger Roll, who jump started, he spun. Thibaut obviously was the one who went off on the main straight. And then Jay Hartnell, he also went off in turn 3. So a few guys already in the wars.
You guys already all picked up wing damage. It's Kmark and Clausen, both tier 4 drivers going side by side on a long straight. Kmark gets past. That's him up into P8. Is Clausen gonna get straight back at him? They're both in the same esports team as well. Clausen is not gonna go down the inside. Oh, there's a freeway battle actually going on. It's Massa, Matty and Jay Prentice. Jay Prentice gets past both of them. Matty remains in P6. Kmarks actually gets past Mazza as well. So that's the Ferrari driver up into P7.
Yeah, the Williams driver there did such a narrow corner. He just got stuck and Mazza making contact with him. Caught him out and he's really unsettled in this final sector. That Ferrari's all over the back of him. Kmark now lining him up. DRS not for another lap. And around the final turn they go. They seem to have recovered a little bit more ground, but yeah, that final few corners weren't very tidy, and it's given Jay Prentice a bit of a gap. The around 6/10 now.
It's looking, as Lars and Roland are battling, going side by side through turn 2. Who's gonna come out on top? It's gonna be Roland who comes out on top, but how good is his exit? Is Lars gonna come straight back at him? He's using all of his overtake to stay in front of the Renault. As now Dan is gonna make a move on Lars, and he makes the move stick, so that's 3 tier 3 drivers fighting for the last point in this race, but Roland stays out on top. Robert is still in P1, 7/10 clear of Joe behind. We saw actually that Robert has some really good pace. We saw it in the other Grand Prix as well, which was for the actual season 6. We saw Robert unfortunately picking up wing damage because of his own mistake, but he had some really strong pace and came back to P4 at the end, as he sets the fastest sector 2. So we know he's got the pace, but Joe is doing a brilliant job to keep up with him. 7/10, it is 7/10 as well between him and Jacek in P3. So it's a top 3 now pulling away. Reggae is having a little bit of a struggle to keep up with the guys in front, and Jay Brents is just about within a second of P4.
Yeah, now a couple of guys had to go in the pits for wing repairs. Ricky was one of them, so he's down P17, Tiger Roll and Ross Hilly. And Tebow. So they were the 4 guys in the end that needed a change. They are miles away. Ricky going from the soft onto the medium, so he's going to try and get that medium to the rest of the race, which should be fine, but they will be pretty knackered come the end. Crimson, he's also in the pits, so I'm guessing he is in for wing damage, which he is, and he's one of the guys on the mediums, so now he's going to be forced into the hard tyre, so that's not great at all for Crimson Blaze. But so far, Tiger Roll's had a pit again, so he must do wing damage.
Yeah, or Tiger Roll's now serving his drive-through, which could be a possibility as well, because he still had it because of his jump start.
Yeah, that's very true. So yeah, that is it so far. The race is pretty spaced out, apart from the leaders just within DRS now is Joel.
Yep, a lot of little battles going on, as we've got a Racing Point going backwards. Well, okay, then goes down the inside for P10, goes deep, Roland looks up, but he parks the bus on the apex. That's then up into P10, Roland remains P11, and then is just giving a signal to Roland, as he just wants to say, stay behind me, don't battle too much, because we have to close into the battle of the tier 4 cars ahead, because you've got Clausen, Massa and K-Mark, all tier 4 guys in front of these guys. They definitely want to close back in. Then is the first one on the mediums together with Roland, so they can actually do a little bit of a close in. Now this is the time to push, this is the time to close into the cars in front. As Clausen comes into the pits on his soft tires, he's the first one to go onto the mediums and make it till the end. I think he is, but that's not because of luxury. Wing damage on the right hand side for the Mercedes.
Yeah, Tebow in the end got out of his little spin and he's now being lapped. But yeah, it's been interesting to see the lap times. Is it now already, are we at the crossover point where the medium is better than the soft? I suppose we can look at Dan's lap times to Muzzer's, see if the gap is going down. And it does look like the gap is pretty stable, and since around the 5.3 it's not going up. So, I'd say that, you know, the 5.5.
Yeah, the graphic before the start of the race at lap 7 was the estimated pit stop window. That's halfway through the race. I expect these guys to pit around lap 5-6 maybe, just to make sure, because they have to pit for mediums, so the mediums can go a little bit longer into the race. They are known to be really bad around this track though, the medium tires. You don't really want to be on the mediums around here, so that could be a factor that they are going to continue on to lap 7. But of course they will have a little bit less tire wear, so maybe that's the reason why they will pit on lap 5 or lap 6. We will have to wait and see. They're currently on lap 4. Robert is about to start lap 5, so we can slowly start to see people coming into the pits, as Dan is now 5.2, 5.1 seconds away from Massa, so he is closing in, as Matty is gonna be the first one going into the pits, I think. Matty into the pits on his soft tires, as he knows he's got Joe in front, and that's probably the reason why he is gonna pit already, because if he's gonna extend it by one more lap and Joe comes in, Then he has to wait for another lap. Oh, Matty is coming in for a front wing change as well. I didn't see it on screen, but he is gonna lose out on a lot of time as well. 5 seconds added onto your pit stop because of the front wing change, so that's not looking good. Lars comes into the pits with a front wing change as well, and a front wing change for Kelsensweg as well. So 3 tier 3 drivers into the pits, all with front wing change. As that is Thibaut in front of the cars as well, but he is a lap behind.
Yeah, so that's Matty with that wing change. He is now in P12, we've got a yellow. We've got McLaren off of Roland.
That's Roland.
Yeah.
Or is it Blaze?
No, it's Roland.
It's Roland, yep.
Yeah, it's Roland. So Roland, I think he got away with no wing damage though. It's fair enough. But yeah, the thing is with the medium tyre, it's only one gradient harder than the soft that's run here. So it just means, yeah, there is not a great amount of durability in the medium either, really. It's only the hard tyre that gives you that long lasting. Oh, we got a virtual safety car.
Reggae is off. Oh, what did he do? He lost it big time into the wall. There's one tier 4 driver out of the race.
Oh, we get a few people pitting now.
Yeah,
the opportunity.
and then goes in. Oi, he's gonna pit for softs and make it till the end, which is, I think, a good move. Spot follows him, and Roland is probably gonna follow as well. Yep, he is.
Interesting. So
But look at this, the top, the top 3 were already across the pit entry, so they couldn't make the pit stop.
And it's now green, so we're back to racing. But this will save those guys a lot of time. It's a slow pit lane as well. So every little bit of that virtual safety car makes a huge difference. And we are, to be fair, at the window now where if you're on the mediums, you would have wanted to go onto the softs. There's only a lap in it. So fair play. Dan is going to be looking very good.
Dan is gonna be looking very strong. Is Joe gonna get the rest just about? So he is not gonna get away, or Robert is not gonna get away from the Williams behind. It's 18 seconds to Jay Prentice in P4, who's made his pit stop already. Are these guys gonna come out on top? I don't think so. I think Jay Prentice is gonna get past these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. 18 seconds, that's not enough. Yeah, they must have saved themselves a good 4 seconds, 5 seconds. Pit stop window.
Yep, they're coming into the pits now. Robert is in, Joe is in, Jacek is in. Neither of them picked up a 5-second time penalty, so that's all good. We're now gonna follow Jay Prentice as he is going for sector 3 now. He is getting past the pit entry around here. So it's only 2 more corners to negotiate. Robert is clear. He goes into the pits now. Williams gets past. Jacek is already onto a set of medium tires. Oh, and he's jumping Robert. I think Robert is changing his front wing.
Yeah.
So Joe and Jacek are now in front of Robert, but Jay Prentice got well and truly past these guys. Oh, is he? No, he's gonna get right in between them. Joe leading the way, Jay Prentice P2, Jacek in P3.
Yes, that pit lane, that just shows you the advantage leaders had. That's a yellow, as a Renault. It was Lars, but he's back going again now. But yeah, that just shows you that pit lane, that pit end exit is so deceiving. And you can actually gain a lot of speed around that part of the track. And here we go, got a battle on then.
Battle is on. Jay Prentice using all of his overtake. He's known for low down for setups, so he should be a rocket in a straight line. Is he gonna be a rocket right now? Yep, he is. Already got past Joe before the braking zone. So that is Jay Prentice up into P1 as he is currently leading the race here around Vietnam.
Thibaut gets 3-second penalty for corner cutting. Fortunate for him, but yeah, the race is on now at halfway distance. Jay Prentice, Joel, Jay Sack closely following, and then you got Robert, who lost a lot of time in that pit stop. He is 3.4 behind. He's going to have to really dig deep if he's and hope that the 3 ahead starts to battle soon. Mozza is about a 2.8, 2.9. Really, I feel like Dan is the one who can gain a lot. Dan, P5 is doable today for this race for Dan. Almost in a second of Kmart now.
Oh, look at this. It's Joe going round the outside. What a brilliant move from the Williams driver, which moves him up into P1. And Jacek was having a look at Jay Prentice as well. Oh, Jay Prentice with a terrible exit. Almost ran into the wall. That's going to hurt his exit. Is the Ferrari now going to get past both tier 3 drivers? They will have communication. Jacek gets past. I think Jay Prentice just lets him through. So Jay Prentice losing 2 positions in 2 corners in a straight. Well, fair enough, and this is all allowing Robert to close back in, so maybe we're gonna have a 4-way battle for the lead in this race, which would be absolutely amazing. So we've got these 4 guys, then we've got the 2 tier 4 drivers with Massa and K-Mark in P5, P6, then it's got Dan and Matty in P7 and 8, Spot in P9, he's doing a really good job, and Clausen taking the final point in this race in P10. I don't know if we're working with a point system where everyone gets points as long as they finish. I think that is the case, so it might not be true that P10 gets 1 point. I think Tishi's in the chat who can confirm this for me, so bear in mind if when I'm gonna get these details. But yeah, it's looking good for the tier 4 drivers, to be honest. They're looking really strong.
Yeah, Joel, Granger and Jacek are pulling away now from Jay Prentice. Jay Prentice not being able to live with them. And to be fair, Robert, he is starting to gain. Robert's now just at the 2-point dead gap between himself and ours, 1.9. So yeah, Robert's eating into Jay Prentice here for P3. And Dan is within DRS now of Kmart. He needs to be closer. Really cement a challenge right here. He needs to get past Kmart quickly before those softs lose their advantage as well.
Yep, Dan needs to make full use of those softs right now. Is Jacek gonna go for the move, or is he gonna wait for the big back straight? I think he is, because he is not using any of his overtake, just using his DRS. Important to get a good exit through the roundabout, which is a real roundabout in real life as well. That's quite funny. He puts it up into overtake. He is within 5/10 of the car in front, so he will get DRS. He's using a little bit of overtake as well. Is he gonna get past the Williams, or does he have to stay behind it for another lap? He's closing, he's closing, he's closing, he's closing. He's gonna go for the move round the outside. Joe moves a little bit on the braking, shuts the door, and says, Jacek, you're not gonna get past on this lap. So Joe remains in P1, and Jacek has to be content with P2 at this point.
You know what, I've only just realised, I'm seeing something I would never see. Ricky driving a Mercedes. Like, this is, you know, I've just realised, look at Ricky currently P12. Oh, we got a yellow, it's Hilly retired.
Hilly retires. Yeah, I think that's in the, isn't that in the pits?
It's pits, yeah.
It is in the pits, so that's already 2 tier 4 drivers out of this race. And Thibaut, although being a lap down, is still going on in this race. He exactly knows what is going on, so fair play to him. We're gonna see, oh, as Jacek drops outside of the 1 second window, that could be a glitch, that could be a real thing, I think. Oh, he still gets DRS, that's crucial.
Very important there for Jacek.
Oh, and look at Robert. Robert is gonna get past Jay Prentice. They need to work together. Robert gets past without having to use his ERS. So it's time now for him to close back into the 2 guys in front. Big battle going on as well for P5. Massa, K-Mark and Dan are fighting for P5 in this race.
Yeah, they're all up together now. Matty's not only P8, obviously with the wrong tyre. Oh, there's a crash. It's Renault again.
I think that's Lars.
Yeah.
Yep, it is. Lars is not having his best race here around Vietnam. Oh, Dan was having a look. Massa was having none of it. Massa drops down to P6, K-Mark up to P5. No worries for the tier 4 guys, as the points will remain the same. It will be crucial for them to keep Dan behind on those mediums. That will be the main priority.
Yeah, this is Dan's on here. P5 is the best he can do right now. He's kind of trying to carry so much more speed in this section, because this is where the soft should really have its advantage. But if Musa is within a second, which he is, he's going to get DRS as well.
Yep. These guys, if these guys work together really well, then there's no way Dan is gonna get past unless these guys make a mistake. That's the only thing. Dan needs to play it smart, use as less of ERS as possible, because he's on 25%, so that's not really helping as well. Use the grip of your tires, but on the other hand, maybe he wants to save them as best as possible, because they will be feeling a bit terrible coming to the end of the race. He's almost lost it with a little bit of a tank slapper. It isn't looking good for Dan at this point, being in P7, and he won't be able to make a move for P6. We go back to the race lead with Joe still in P1, Jacek in P2. Is Jacek gonna go for the move now? Joe is really low on ERS, but the same for Jacek actually, with overtake and DRS. Is he try and make a move now? No, he is not. He is having a little look around the outside, can't make it stick. Maybe on exit. Nope, not possible. So Jacek remains in P2.
Oh, Musa's down the inside of the Ferrari.
Oh!
So too is Dan.
Big contact. Massa pushes K-Mark into the wall, loses it on exit, and Dan is passed. I said it, these guys can't make a mistake. They made a mistake, and Dan says thank you very much. And he goes up into P5.
Ferrari's footwing damage as well. K-Mark will be unhappy with that one, because of course Musa came from very deep. Dan was looking at a move on Musa. I think Musa was just sort of reacting to that and trying to make a move on the Ferrari, but it just didn't work. And interestingly, the Ferrari of K-Mark not going for a wing change, because I guess there's no point. There's 3 to go.
Yeah, he's thinking about the points, and Clausen retires. Another tier 4 retirement. But yeah, he's thinking about his race. The only thing is, like, he only got Matty behind. I don't think Spot is going to be fast enough to close the gap in with these 3 laps to go. So the worst case scenario is he's going to lose 2 more positions, but that's going to be it. So fair play to K-Mark. He's playing it smart at this point, I think. But that's then up into P5. Current virtual standings. It's tier 3 with 230 points. Tier 4 with 184 points. So tier 3 is leading the way at this point. They sort of need to do, but it's also the pressure that comes with it, that they need to perform.
Absolutely. But so Mark now under pressure from Musa. Musa still obviously let the Ferrari through. He felt it was his fault.
Oh!
Cheers.
It's Kelster into the wall. Lost it on exit coming off the roundabout. I just switched to him, and we could see it on stream. So that is Ricky up into P10, Kelster drops down to P11. It's not going to change anything about the tier 3 points, but it's definitely not going to help Kelster wreck his race.
No, absolutely. So he's now going to be with a damaged car for the last 2.5 laps, just like the Ferrari of K-Mark, and that's going to allow Jay Harwell 6 seconds behind, and also, I mean, yeah. I think he'll be right, to be fair. Roland is quite a big gap behind. So I think those guys will be able to last quite a while without having to lose any positions. Dalton Jacek, though, that is the battle. That is on now. 3/10 with 1 3/4 laps to go. And I feel a pretty good one here.
It's looking really good now, but he is stuck behind the Williams for couple of laps now, and he's not really been close enough to really make a move down the inside. Gelsweg pits for a new front wing and a fresh set of tires.
Here we go.
Jacek is looking, he's already side by side now. This could be the move. Joe defends the inside. Joe is having a brilliant race as Jacek tries to hold it around the outside. Joe is into the wall. That's lag. Oh my days, they were testing us. It's all good. Joe is still driving without any damage.
I was like, oh, I'm glad we both saw that. It wasn't just my online. But yeah, he lives to fight another day. One and a couple of laps left, a couple of corners to go. Here we go then. Oh, the Ferrari brakes late, goes a little bit deep. Not going to be the best of runs. The final turn. DRS zone number 1. Roberts only 2.4 behind. Robert also doesn't have any ERS, so all these guys are running pretty low. JSEC has a tiny little bit more in reserve. We're only talking 5% really.
JSEC now. He saw it on the last lap that it is possible, so he's thinking to himself, oh, on that bicycle, and now he needs to go again. Through the roundabout he goes. He is looking for the grip. And he needs to try it. He's got one more chance to do it so.
Joel Granger's got some serious straight line speed. Just not quite and not enough.
Not quite enough for JSEC.
That's it.
The gaps just disappeared on my screen.
Yeah, the same.
So, don't know any of the gaps. I do know is that Joe is gonna win this race if he's not gonna pick up any time penalties. Through the last two curves they go. And then onto the double left-hander. To take victory here around Vietnam, a tier 4 driver taking victory is a brilliant performance, really well done. You can't add anything to it. Joe is gonna win here around Vietnam with JSEC in P2, Robert in P3. Jay Prentice is gonna bring home P4 for the tier 3 drivers with Dan in P5. Mazza is gonna bring home P6 with K-Mark in P7. It's not gonna be P7 for K-Mark. Matty. He is gonna make it stick. There's Matty up into P7. K-Mark drops down to P8. No, he's not. He's gonna jump to P6. Mazza P7, Matty P8. Ricky P9 and Spot is gonna take the final point in this race. You absolutely love to see it. Spot up into P10 with Jay finishing P11.
Wow. Obviously Kelster still going. I tell you what, this is going to make an interesting reverse grid.
This is gonna be really fun for the second race. Your driver of the day, X to the 4 to the 2 to the 7, who managed to bring it home in P5. Really well done to him. He did a really good job. As I'm gonna take 2 pictures of the standings because I've got the big pressure on my hands to make the custom grid. Let's see. With Joe finishing in P1, JSEC P2, Robert P3, Jay Prentice P4, Dan P5, K-Mark P6, Mazza P7, Matty P8, Ricky P9, Spot P10, Jay P11, Profodes P12, Kelster P13, Lars P14, Blaze P15, Thibaut P16, Tigerroll P17, Clausen P18, Haley P19 and Reggae P20. People who retired in this race are gonna start from the back. So we will start with Thibaut, who is gonna take pole position for his home Grand Prix actually. That's quite interesting.
Indeed, yes. So I'm just going to have to. I think what we'll have to do is update the telemetry settings for this next race.
you got time because
okay.
I have to make the custom things, so it should be all good.
Cool.
I've made the pictures. We're gonna load into the lobby. I'm gonna keep the stream live. We won't gonna say anything until we load onto France. So bear in mind with us, grab yourself something to drink, grab yourself a little snack. I'm gonna make the custom grid and then we should be ready in, I assume, 10 minutes at max. And then it should be all going on the way once again. So here we are back again for the second race, which will be held around the Paul Ricard circuit in France. I'm gonna run you guys through the starting grid for the second race. Thibaut will be on pole position as home Grand Prix. Lars will be in P2, Kelsweg in P3, Roland P4, Jay P5, Spot P6, Ricky P7, Matty P8, Massa P10, K-Mark P10, Massa P9, K-Mark P10. Then P11, Jay Prentice P12, Robert P13, Chasek P14, Joe P15, Reggae P16, Healy P17, Clausen P18, Tigerroll P19, and Shane is the replacement of Blaze, who has problems with his internet. The people who retired have to start from the back of the grid, but I put the one who retired at first on P16 and so further on. So that explains everything. Yeah, this should be all good. 25% race. Formation lap is on. I'm gonna put in a spectate. We're gonna start in exactly 1 minute. So that is looking really solid. And hopefully we're gonna see a very enjoying second race, because the first one was really enjoying, if I say so.
Yeah, it was really good, wasn't it? And Vietnam is one of those tracks that, although you have those DRS zones along straights, it is very narrow. So overtaking is actually quite a hard thing to pull off. France, though, very opposite. Massive, wide track, plenty of runoff. DRS, again, very strong, but not quite as much DRS, but still a lot of power, sensitive parts of the circuit. So, yeah, great for overtaking if you're at the back of the grid and got the pace to get to the front. I feel like Paul Ricard gives you definitely a lot more overtaking opportunities, put it that way.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be a track where picking up penalties is crucial anyway, but being a 25% race, it's gonna punish you even more with the tricky turn 1. That's gonna cause a lot of problems, but like you said, you've got the big and long straight with DRS as well being enabled on it. Same goes on for the start finish straight, so we will see a lot of overtaking possibilities. And with the grid being mixed up like it is right now, it can cause big drama. Everyone can ready up now, as it is exactly 10 p.m. So if they all listen, then we should be seeing everyone readying up.
I haven't had my invite yet.
Oh, that is great. You love to see I forget the most important guy out there. Invite is on the way. You see already troubles forming. You won't see me and Lewis on commentary next week. We've got a big argument. We don't want each other in lobby anymore.
That time he didn't invite me into the second race. I was thinking, I'll double check. But yeah, no.
I'm just gonna patiently wait for the invite that is not coming unless I say it.
Yeah.
There he is. You absolutely love to see it. With 10 more seconds to go. Tish in the chat saying that tier 3 is smashing them as predicted. Yeah, Tish, I know Shane should replace Blaze's position, but I found it kinda unfair that Shane hasn't driven a lap yet and would start in front of guys that at least try to show up in the first race. So that's why I chose it. It would have been like P16 Like, because Blaze lost connection, I don't know where he would have ended up, you know. So that's why I chose the decision to put him at the back. Can't help it. At least there's enough time to make up for it. Light Cloud, same as last race. We didn't want to make it any harder for these guys because they will only have a formation lap to play with. No quali. So they have to put on their setup. Don't forget it, because that's something you could forget when loading into the lobby without having to put in a quali lap. So make sure you're loading your setup. That's probably why no one read it up yet. And then only one more formation lap to get used to the track, and then it's ready to go. Yeah, if these people were smart, then they would have practiced this track more than they did at Vietnam, because at Vietnam they would have at least had some sort of quali. And if you made a mistake around Vietnam, then you will be in a good position around here at France. And if you had a really good race around Vietnam, then you would at least have the pace to get through the field again around here. So that's why I would assume that people went for a little bit of a longer practice around France, but we have to wait and see, really.
Yeah. See if there's any dramatic changes in form. And also to see who are good overtakers and who are not so good overtakers despite their speed. Which is always a big part of racing. You get it not just in this form of virtual racing, but in real racing it's the same thing. You get guys you always know on a lap can be quick, and if they're out in free, clear air, they're good. But if they're in the pack and need to overtake, are they as good in that judgment field? And there are levels. So this type of racing does tend to spot them kind of guys out.
So here we go, and look at this. Thibaut and Lars opted to go for the mediums. Kelster, Swag and Roland on softs. Jay on mediums. Spot, Ricky on softs. Matty on mediums. Mazza and K-Mark on softs. Then Jay Prentice, Robert, Jacek and Joe on mediums. Reggae, Haley, Clausen on softs. Tiger Roll on mediums and Shane on softs. Oh, this is going to be very interesting. I'm really looking forward to this.
This is like an F2 race now. Like where you have, obviously the biggest difference in the top 10 have the free choice as well, so everyone's on a fresh set of tyres. And yeah, so now the leaders are on medium tyres. The top two, the front row guys. Look for the guys on the third and fourth positions, because they're going to get a great start off the line. They're going to get a really good initial launch, and then with the slipstream, I can see them being able to make the moves. So you don't normally get to see that in a start of a race because everyone's on the same tyre.
Yeah, it will be very important for Kelsweg and Roland to have a good start and get past these guys as quick as possible. France isn't really known for a high grip track, so these guys will definitely be struggling on those mediums to get off their grid slots. Patrici's in the chat saying Thibaut and Lars on front row, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, and I have to agree. These guys are having a nosebleed at this point, being this high up. They haven't experienced a formation lap being this high up onto the grid, though they must be feeling pretty amazing. And I'm hoping for these guys to have a good race.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Jacek and Robert are now thinking to each other like, what are we doing? P13 and P14? What is this number? They haven't experienced that number yet.
Absolutely.
But here we go, waiting for Clausen to get up into his grid slot, and then we're all good to go for the second race in this Tier 3 against Tier 4 special event. I can hear the 5 red lights, no one is wrapping up yet, so we still have to wait for a glitch once again. What would be a Connor's speed race without the glitch? I don't know. It is Thibaut waiting a very long time actually. He's revving up now. 5 red lights. And away we go for the second time. It's a good start from Lars. Is he gonna go around the outside immediately? I think he is. Lars is leading a race in console speed. I repeat, Lars is leading a race in console speed. Kelsweg gets immediately past, so that's him up into P2. Ronan gets past as well, that's him up into P3. Crucial for those two guys on the softs. And it's Jacek already with a big spin. He is off and in last place. Oh! That is Ricky off on the softs. So both tier 3 guys at the back of the grid, they've got some comeback work to do.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to see here positions gained. So the big winners so far, Clawson and Tiger roll up 6 places. Shane up 4, but all those guys, Jason, Ricky, Robert, having terrible starts. Matty losing 2, Dan gaining 2. But yeah, those guys have started at the front. Oh, we got yellow. Oh, Reg's retired again.
Reg lost it off the fast. She get a safety car. Are people gonna pit who are running on softs at this point? That's gonna be the main question.
This is the advantage of those soft runners. Can they? I mean, I'd go to a hard tyre. And even if I was on the medium, I'd go on the hard tyre right now.
I think this is really good for the medium runners as well, because they're not gonna lose the amount of time they would under green conditions. And they can just stop at lap 7 and pit for softs and make it easily till the end of the race.
Kelso doesn't do it.
And Roland comes in. Yeah, fair enough.
A lot of them are all getting big.
Thibaut is in as well on his mediums.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Go onto the hards. You're like, this is going to be the quicker way than pitting on green flag conditions.
Roland pitting for mediums. He is gonna gamble it till the end of the race. Thibaut on hards.
Yeah, he has to. That's the only choice. I think this is smart from Thibaut. If you're a soft runner, and a lot of people you can see have pitted, you might as well take advantage of this safety car period and stop for hards. It's not going to be as fast of a tyre, but there's just not enough laps to be able to make the difference. Because by the time we get going again, it's going to be probably lap 4.
Yeah, I think so. And then the mediums can pretty much make it to the end of the race anyway. So yeah, I think Thibaut made a mistake here. And I think Roland made a good choice by going on to the medium. So he is effectively in P1, I would say.
Yeah, a few guys who started on the mediums like Joel Grange and Jay Prentice, they too have had to go onto the hard tyre. Robert's gone onto the soft. So Robert's going for, well, I'm guessing he started on the medium as well.
Yeah, he started on the medium, so he's just taking the gamble that those softs can make it to the end of the race. And if we're gonna go by the fact that the safety car will come in on lap 4, then it's not gonna be an impossible job, but those softs won't be feeling very pretty coming towards the end of the race.
Yeah, those softs are probably gonna be 8-9 laps. Any good? Maybe 8 laps before
yeah, at max. Yeah.
Well, the mediums can do this. They can complete this stint.
Yeah, 100%.
Particularly on a lighter car as well. So it's not like 50% races. These cars are not that heavy at all, really.
So we go to the front of the field.
We're gonna do another lap.
Yeah, we're gonna do another lap, unless the Sato comes in for a very late call. Nope, it doesn't. Okay, so all good. We will be at least behind the safety car for another lap. We have Kelsbeck. Is Kelsbeck gonna come in? No. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Wow.
Smart play, I think. A little bit too late, but still a good choice, I would say.
But it's a shame. Well, it's still, well, I'd still say it's a massive mistake because he would have been leading that group. Now he's going to be right at the back of that group. The amount of track position he's going to gain, and it's only a few laps, so it's still always yeah. So it's still a massively jeopardizing.
Look at this. Robert is in again.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna put on the mediums again. Yep. He just made a pit stop to make sure he's done the tire brew. How you call it? Tire regulation?
Yeah. So so he can get back on the tire he wants to be on.
Yep. Exactly. That's a smart call from Robert. Really well done. Because he would have been at the back of the grid anyway.
Yeah.
Now he's in P18. He has made his pit stop, his crucial pit stop, to change to a different compound. Now he is on fresh mediums, and he can make it to the end of the race together with Roland all the way down to P19 EFR Clawson. So really well done, smart move.
Yeah, because the soft would. I was thinking the soft is a bit of a step too far. Saying that, Clausen has decided to go for the gamble now. He's gone, so I suppose it is going to be 10 laps. Oh, 11 laps, including this one. So it's still going to be a step too far, I think. But He's going to go for it. He will have tremendous pace to begin with. And Spud, remember, he didn't pit, unfortunately. He's on 2 lap-old softs.
Safety car in this lap. So it's the yellow dot going away and the other yellow dot taking over.
Yeah, obviously the guys who have pitted now, they are going to be on the more warm side of things towards the second half of the race, but it is a long pit stop, this place, because of how slow it is.
Yeah, it's a really tricky pit lane. You lose a lot of time, especially because the cars around you are going at full speed across the start-finish straight. So here it is. Lars leading once again, back in the lead, with Jay behind him on mediums. Spot is the only one left on softs. So
do you think Lars has ever done a
no,
restart?
I'm 100% sure he hasn't done a safety car restart yet.
Love it.
But here he goes. And Lars is going, and he's done it brilliantly. Already a 7/10 gap as Lars is pushing and still being in P1. I can't believe it. This is amazing. Why can't we do this format every single week? Because I am enjoying it too much. Spot still in P3 as he runs a little bit wide, gets a terrible exit, which is allowing Dan to maybe have a look down the inside. Dan is gonna have a look down the inside, gets the move done. That's Dan up into P3. Spot drops down to P4. That's Thibaut with a mistake. Thibaut made a mistake coming out of turn 2, and that's him at the back of the wheel on the hards. It's not looking good for Thibaut.
Yeah, good start though from, like I said, Lars getting a really good start. Jay is coming back towards him though. Dan, P3, great restart for Dan. He is in the driving seat. Out of all these guys, if you judge him on his last race, he has the performance over the 2 guys ahead of him.
Oh.
And Matty. Oh.
There we have it, K-Mark with a 3-second time penalty. We said it before joining into the track. This could be crucial with only, what is it? It is only 9 more laps to go. There is not enough time to make up 3 seconds to the cars behind or in front. So that is going to be a big factor for K-Mark coming towards the end of the race.
And the factor also is you've got all these quick guys at the back of the field still. Because the safety car obviously stagnates the field. Oh, we got a spinner! Muzzer's had a back end moment. So he's dropped right to the back of the field. He just holds on. But I was saying, because you've got all those quick guys, all the Mercedes having a look, they're all round the same pace. So they're going to struggle to overtake each other. They've got to rely on the guy at the front of that queue, i.e. Ricky and Joel Granger, to get past.
K-Mark spinning Jacek. K-Mark shut the door. Jacek went for the gap that wasn't there. He drops down to P17, make that P18 as Mazza gets past. Jacek has to try all over again as he went for a very audacious move.
And it's it, they're getting desperate because they think, oh, I need to make moves. The problem is they're all at the same pace as each other. And whilst you've literally still got, you haven't had that big change. Dan's having a look on Lars. Down the inside, already ahead. Dan's going to take the lead.
Then up into the lead of this race. Lars drops down to P2. Nothing to worry about as tier 3 still remains the same amount of points. They need to work together to keep Jay behind. Donamo just subscribed for 8 months in a row. You absolutely love to see it, mate. Really appreciate it. And Cookie is saying that Lars has to have a nosebleed being that way up there. And that's exactly what I said a couple of laps ago.
Yeah, definitely. It's the dizzying heights of P2. He has got Jay Hartnell and Matty Robbo in close company. And even Spud, surely those softs are towards the end of their lives now. He's going to have to look at pitting in the next couple. But he's still there. Doing a great job there in P5 for now. But he will have to pit unless there's another safety car.
DRS just got enabled, so this is the moment now for everyone stuck behind a car to make life a little bit easier and use that green button. Jay will be the first one to use it, and Lars is not gonna have DRS from Dan in front, but both. Oh, Matty is going for a smart move actually because he's helping Lars here. This is allowing Lars to pull away. Is Matty still within a second? He is still within a second, so that's a really good play for Matty. He will get DRS from Lars in front. And he gets past Jay. Good move with Tiger Roll in P5. K-Mark is actually gaining positions left, right and center. He's moving himself up through the field. As Spot drops down to P7. Those shots are slowly starting to feel worse and worse.
Yeah, and he's dropping it more and more away. This is great. Matty and Dan are here for a 1-2 as it stands. Matty's got the pace. He's having a look at the Renault in the background. Tiger, you're Danny inside of Jay. He came up, going to follow through. To that corner, you can get away with it being on the outside, and he holds on to P5 for now. Runs a bit deep. That's going to allow the Ferrari a chance to go through. Ferrari used to be able to overtake. He's got the inside. And there we go, K-Buck then also up into P5. Oh, and I see there's a Red Bull.
Ooh, Lars had a terrible exit coming off the last corner as that is that Kelsey coming into the pits? No, it's Spot who left the session. Spot left the session, that's really unfortunate, but Lars had a terrible exit coming off the last corner as he picks up 3 seconds as well. It's the big pressure now coming towards him. 3 seconds for Lars, and he drops down to P3 with his teammate, which is actually not a teammate in this race, in P4, and K-Mark in P5. Ronan is following closely as well in P6, and remember, he is the one who doesn't have to make a pit stop again.
Yeah, big battles here from Ricky, trying to get past Cossilly. Oh, a few 3 seconds there, Tiger and K-Mark both getting 3 second warnings.
Tiger Roll gets past Lars, and Lars is having a little look. Oh, Lars is battling with K-Mark. Wheel to wheel action between those two. Oh, K-Mark picks up wing damage. Right hand side wing damage because he was battling with Lars. This action around Roland to get past freeway. Oh.
Yeah, Roland gets through. That was actually, what was it? Lars is behind him. Yeah, and it is wing damage for that Ferrari. So again, K-Mark getting wing damage 2 races in a row.
2 races in a row, he won't be happy, and Lars is pushing because he is having much more downforce. If I was Lars, I would come into the pits right now. There's no point going on, and he is doing exactly what I said. Really well done to both drivers actually. There's no point for them continuing on. That is allowing Tiger Roll up into P3, but he's got Roland behind him, and it's looking really good for the tier 3 drivers. They're used to it. They need to win this battle, but it's actually good. They're showing it as well, and they're showing that they are in a deserved place up into tier 3, but it's actually the 2 teammates in the usual tier 3 season who are leading the way around here.
Yeah, that's it. And Matty, as nice as this is for Matty at the moment, Matty and Dan, they haven't pitted, have they?
Nope,
So
they still have to come into the pits as well.
It's going to be the downfall for them. Unfortunately, it's what will bring guys like Robert back and Joel. Obviously, Joel, they have to pit as well, don't they? No, they don't. No, they've already
No,
pitted.
from Ronan onwards,
Ronan,
they
Ronan
can all
onwards.
go until the end of the race.
Yeah. Bring it on. We've only got 5 to go. 6 to go.
Wondering, J-Sec should be going to the end as well. I think so.
I think J-Sec's got the same size as the beginning of the race.
Stops. No, J-Sec has to come into the pits as well, together with Jay. They are the ones behind Roland who still have to make the stop. Everyone in front of Roland has to make the stop as well. So it's Dan, Matty, Tiger Roll, Jay, and J-Sec will all have to make the pit stop. And Tiger Roll goes into the pits, picks up 5 seconds in the process. That's definitely gonna hurt him, as Matty and Dan are both into the pits. They're not used to the fact they can both enter the pits at the same time, as Joe has left the session. Such a shame, being in P4 at this point in the race.
And Ricky's got into P2. Here we go.
Ricky with the charge of dreams. He had the spin on lap 1, but of course with the safety car it really helped him to come back into this race, and he is now in P2 looking to get past Ronan as well, but the gap is 2.2 seconds, and Healy is the one getting DRS from Ricky in front. Healy needs to make the overtake now, otherwise I think Ricky is gonna run away with this.
Yeah, absolutely. Ronan here has a great chance of winning the reverse grid now. We haven't got many laps left either, and this is where the quick guys from the last race are starting to make their way through. It's now P5. Lining up the back of Shane and Hilly.
Yep,
Yeah, we
Robert,
look for a move in third
Robert can
sector.
see P2 in front, so nothing to worry about for him. He is still a really good shot at getting a podium around here, and he's got 2 tier 4 drivers in front, so he knows he should be able to get past these guys if nothing weird happens. Oh, in fact he's already going for the move on Shane. Round the outside.
Yeah.
Round the outside, which turns into the inside. Oh, they go side by side, but it remains clean. But now would it get the better exit? It's Shane using all of the ERS possible, but he's running out of power. Is this gonna allow Robert to get round the outside once again? Oh, he was having a little look, but it wasn't enough. Robert has to remain in P5 and he picks up 3 seconds in the process.
Crucial. It's actually with Shane above yet to get any penalty. Everyone above him yet to get penalties. No, that's a big blow there for Robert. Still, those guys ahead could get one more warning. And if that means the 3-second penalties, it's back to game on.
It's game on once again, and Haley, to be fair to him, he's still within a second of Ricky, so he's doing a really good job. And fair play to Roden as well, because the gap between him and Ricky remained exactly the same. So Ricky is not even closing in to the captain up front. So the captain is leading his own tier and his own race. Robert round the outside of Shane. Oh, is it gonna be enough? Brilliant view. No, Lars retires. Together with K-Mark, I think that is. Safety car!
Oh! Now what do you do? I mean, those guys who've just pitted for softs, they will be saying thank you very much. But are the guys ahead going to make pits? Yes, they do. Roland goes to pit.
What?
I don't know why he does that.
Why?
I don't know why he does that. Take control.
He just threw away the victory.
Buzzer pits as well. You got Jay Prentice pitting. I mean, you're only going to get 1 lap, surely.
Yeah. There's no point coming into the pits now. And
Well,
people are following.
Dan is going to come out ahead of Roland.
Yep. And he's gonna have straight connection to all the medium runners in front. Dan and Matty are in a great position.
Yeah. I mean, they'll struggle to get the win, but their tyres are going to be so much more so much more grip. I mean, if they started again now, these guys need to hurry up. Actually, they've already queued up, haven't they? They've already come up. But if they start again now, they got a great chance because that gives them 2 laps. It could be just that. It could be a 2-lapper, this one.
Yeah, I think, because it is indeed at the end of the race, safety car could be coming in this lap. I don't think he's gonna wait for Thibaut and Spot to close back in. Spot should be able to still make it, as there's only a straight between them. But I'm assuming the safety car comes in this lap.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Race controls on
We know something about this game.
Yeah, we do. There we go. We got this is perfect for those guys on the reds. Then you got Dan, Matty, Robbo, Roland. Of course, Roland's potentially thrown it all away. With going in now P8. He's not the lead runner. So here we go.
Joe is back in, just in time. And Spot should be able to close back in just in time as well. As Ricky is now really slowing down, so this is actually helping Spot a lot. Joe is on the hards, that's such a shame. He won't have any pace, but keep in mind, there won't be any DRS. And Ricky is going already. Ricky is not waiting for the last turns, as he actually caught Haley off guard. Is this gonna help Robert to get a better exit and actually get past? No, I don't think it is. But Ricky with a brilliant, a really smart restart, and he actually giving himself a little bit of space to breathe in.
So here we go then. We need to pay attention to Dan on those soft tyres. Gonna have tremendous grip in and traction. He's all over the back of Kelster, and he's going to try and go hang it around the outside. Here we go. Yeah, so much more grip here. Time to use the ERS.
It's the straight line speed looking like the straight line speed of Kelsbeck is actually looking really good, but they need to work together because they're all tier 3. Just let everyone go through because Dan needs to push to close back in. Is Matty gonna follow? Matty is gonna follow. Kelsbeck is not having anything. I don't think Kelster is understanding the point of this race. He is now. Okay, fair enough. And Perfoles. Oh, and he picks up 3 seconds because he had to leave Roland a little bit of space. Fair play to Kelster. Oh, and look at this. Jay Prentice gets past Tiger Roll. Question mark. Tiger Roll is gonna defend. Really well done from the Renault driver. Oh, look at this. They're gonna make it 3 wide. Oh, Jay Prentice runs into the back of Kelster.
Oh, Kelster's gonna
and
lose
Kelster
it.
spun. Kelster is off. He just got bullied.
Robert's standing inside of Hilly into turn 1. Oh, they're side by side still. Hilly's there, both the Haas drivers, and Robert gets ahead. And there comes Shane, and Dan's there as well, carrying so much more speed.
We completely missed it when we entered the last lap of this race, so it's all or nothing right now, and they're just showing us exactly that.
Here we go then. Unfortunately for Dan, the power sections don't make a difference. And Ricky's lost time. Robert's got past Ricky.
I think Ricky lost it.
Yeah. Ricky
Coming off the fast left-hander. Shane is defending from Hilly. This is not the point, guys, where you want to overtake each other, because this is allowing Dan now to get into the slipstream. Is Dan gonna make a double move before the fast right-hander? He's gonna go down the inside. It's gonna cause into drama. If they don't watch out, Dan is not gonna get past either of them.
He'll have the grip.
He's now side by side with the McLaren. Oh, round the outside. He will have the much better grip. He needs to make use of it as he gets past Shane. Oh, they're off.
They're both spun out. Oh, and look at this. And Jay Prentice down the inside of Matty Robbo, but he gets 3 seconds for it.
Robert is going to take the victory, but on pens he will lose it to Ricky. Hilly is going to take P2. What is it going to end? Yeah. Perfodes P3, Robert P4, Matty P5, Massa P6, Jason P7, which turns into P8. Jay gets past. Then on penalties, P6, Jason P9, Jay Prentice P10, Shane P11, Tiger Roll P12, Spot P13, Kelster P15, Joe P14, Thibaut P16. Oh my days, what an end of the race.
That was very dramatic. Fast grids. That was pretty tasty, wasn't it?
Oi. Fair play to Hilly.
Yeah.
Tier 4 and putting it up into second place. Joe won the race. Tier 4 really surprised me, I'm not gonna lie. They really did a good job. But what an enjoyable time this was. I really enjoyed today.
That was a good race. A good couple of races. But that one there, those safety cars, they fell into the hands of the guys who didn't stop initially in the end. But big talk of Roland threw it away. I think Roland, he had the same pace as Ricky. He would have had to battle with Ricky in the last few laps, but P1 or P2 was there for him.
Cookie in the chat, if you could sum up an EU3 and EU4 race this season, yeah, then you would just show this one. Oh my days. What is going on with the lobby, by the way? Kelsweg is just doing nothing. He's getting across the line now. Yep, so we're done for today. He was doing donuts. Fair play, but he got bullied on the second to last lap. He got bullied from left to right to center to left to right again. He had nowhere to go. No one wanted him to race side by side. It's just really sad to see, but we appreciate you, Kelster.
Yes, we do.
So here we have it. Podium for today's race. Ricky P1, Healy P2, and Roland P3. Roland threw away the victory there, I'm not gonna lie. He should have taken the victory around here if he just didn't make his pit stop. At the end, I thought it would have got worse, but he still took P3, so that's fair play to him. For Chichi, I will go through the standings and results for the final time again. Ricky P1, Haley P2, Roland P3, Robert P4, Matty P5, Dan P6, Manza P7, Jay P8, Chaser P9, Jay Prentice P10, Shane P11, Tiger Roll P12, Spot P13, Joe P14, Thibaut P15, Kelster P16, Lars P17, K-Mark P18, Clausen P19 and Reggae P20.
Boom.
Overall standings, it's actually a really good one to see. 27 points for both Ricky and Robert, 25 for Joe, Jacek on 20, Dan on 19, Haley 18, Roland 15, Matty 14, Jay Prentice 13, Mazza 12, that's your top 10. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tier 3 drivers in the top 10. That says enough, really.
Yeah, but that's quite fitting. Ricky and Robert share the honours with 27 points each.
So I will let you guys see the second table. Donamo and Matty thanking us for commentating. It was a pleasure, lads, as always. Lijpe race on that bicycle, Levi, on that bicycle. So we go through Lewis May. I'm gonna round up the stream today a little bit earlier. I actually quite like these times, to be
Lovely,
honest.
isn't it?
Really appreciate it. It's just I'm not used to it. Normally we just ended qualifying and we're into the first stage of the race.
Yeah, not today. It's been me too. I mean, think about me. It's only 10:30 here,
Oh.
so I got still so much of the evening to go.
You love to see it.
Yeah.
So mate,
No.
thank you again for always. It's been a pleasure. Very enjoyable 2 races. Everyone tuning into the stream, thank you all for doing so. If you don't want to miss anything from Console Speed, make sure you hit the follow button. If you're very generous, hit the subscribe button. Follow us on social media to keep up to date with everything that's going on Console Speed. Yeah, the rest of the week will be a little bit different. We've got on the Tuesday the EU2 and AM2 reruns from the race that didn't go through. I'm sorry, I don't know the tracks that we will race at. Wednesday will be AU1 around Austria. I know that one because I have to practice for it. AM1 I don't know as well, sorry. And on Thursday it will be the second try, or the second sort of event, special event this week. Same format. Different tracks. I think it is Bahrain and Belgium, so that's something to look forward to as well. Yeah, other than that, I think I've mentioned everything. I really enjoyed today's races. Brilliant format. Thank you for Dan and Matty for setting it up. Really well done to those two as well. And as I always say, have a good one. Stay safe. I can't find my controller. This one is from Matty. And have a good one. Goodbye.